you made the decision to leave your family and volunteer in New York City at the height of the pandemic, New York City, which had, overwhelming death tolls. What was that experience like for you? I know we're going back like 5 years, but I want to talk about that, especially because you were featured in Good Morning America, honored at the White House. What was that experience like for you professionally and personally? And what did that mean to you as a nurse to leave your home base and go to New York and volunteer during the pandemic?
To be honest, it could probably be 50 years ago, and I'll remember it. I think a lot of us who were there never really fully processed everything that kind of went on. Personally, nobody knew what was going to happen. I left on a Tuesday thinking I'd be back on the weekend to grab some stuff and pack a little bit more. I never came home for 4.5 months or whatever it is. I know once you were done at the hospital, whenever that was, I went home to somebody who's kind enough, and it was a huge kindness, to give me a basement apartment in their house. And I don't even know if we'll ever be faced with something like this again in our lifetime. But if by chance we are, and let's hope we aren't, but if we are, just know that what you see on the news and whatnot is very rarely the truth. And not necessarily because people are trying to spin it, but just because there's a lag time. So, the conversation that dominated outside of where we were was PPE, number of ventilators. And what I think a lot of people who would tell you who were there is that neither one of those things were nearly as important as the lack of trained professionals that we had during the time that it really ramped up. And that's another thing that I think it's lost in that is because of the red tape involved, we just could not get nurses and providers and respiratory therapists there quick enough. And so when things hit that ramp up period, it seemingly happened overnight to where we were okay to where we were most definitely not okay. That was a distinct night that happened. And I walked in the next day and life had kind of changed. And I saw a lot of seasoned nurses like myself, and I just, I would tell people everybody had their day. Everybody had their day where it was just their day to go lose it in the corner, pound the wall, do whatever it was. And it was on the rest of us to just go, it's their day. Okay, let's pick them up, lighten the load however we can for them. Because even the hardest people were really having a tough time with it at least once, you know what I mean? So it was tough to watch people like that go through it. But those were the negatives. There were positives too. I don't know if you want to talk about them, but at least personally, there were